right? If no one knows you, they will never do business with you. And it's just that simple. This is how to get your first customers. You need to hit your list. And then Jason says, I don't have a list. Yes, you do. You just don't know about it. All right. And in fact, you have 3 lists. Does anyone in here have an email? Have you ever sent and received emails with your email? So, list 1, email export all the email addresses out of your email. That's your first list. Second list, anyone on here on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, yay. Social. And you export, these people follow you. And then 3, your cell phone, export these contacts. So now you have 3 lists. And these are leads. What is a lead? A lead is someone you can contact. That's all it is. Can I contact people via email? Can I contact people via social media? Can I contact people via their cellular communication devices? So now that we have our 3 lists, how many do you think you should hit a day as a new business owner, as a new real estate agent?
Probably a bunch.
A bunch? Okay. I would say start with 50 a day. That should take you about 2 hours. If you're really going for it, you would do 100 a day, which would take about 4 hours, but it'll take you 20 years to send your first Facebook message or to make your first call to someone. It'll take you 2 minutes to make your second one. So start simple, right? Call it 50 a day. That's the first 2 hours of your day. But what do you say? It's pretty simple. Offer your services at a steep discount for like your first 3 customers, because if you're brand new, you probably suck. And if you suck, then you shouldn't be charging full price. And then the trade-off should be, depending on what it is, like if you're selling something like trinkets or widgets or a service, you should probably offer your first few for free. And in return, leave me a good review if I'm worth reviewing. And please let me know how I can do this better. Alex Hormozi taught me this. This is the ACA framework. Acknowledge, compliment, and then ask, right? So these people, right? Let's say we start with your biggest list is your social media following. So you got 4,000 people that follow you combined on social media. You would need to use a little bit of context and reach out and say, hey, I see that you just had a birthday. Happy birthday. You know, you like acknowledge them. And then in the conversation, you compliment them on something. Then you go around and ask, hey, who do you know that could use my services? But this is like a very simple way to start your business. And that's any business, like especially a service-based business, is you have email, you have phone numbers, right? And you have social media, but then it requires reaching out to them on a consistent daily basis to get the momentum, right? So let's say you get your first 3 customers, and then that begets you your next 6 customers. You're getting reviews, and then you're asking for referrals, and you haven't spent any money. The point is, no matter what business it is, you've got to become known somehow, right? If no one knows you, they will never do business with you. And it's just that simple. And if you have no money, you have to use your energy, right? And then as you become more and more and more successful, then you preserve your energy and then you spend money to get more leads. And we know what a lead is, right? It's just someone who you can contact. And then let's say that if we've done this, right? And now someone has shown interest, that's simply an engaged lead, right? So you go from lead to engaged lead to prospect, client, and then to past client, right? I can contact you. Oh, some of you are interested in my services. Now you become a prospect once we get together. And then once we start doing deals, you're a client, and then you're a past client. And then you ask your past clients if there's anyone they know that could use your services. We're just building a network, right? Because that's the warm network. People that know you, like you, and trust you, they're like your warm network. But then you can make your warm network larger by saying, hey, Jason, I'm Kat's friend. She told me that you may be interested in real estate. Now, by proxy of Kat, Jason now kind of knows me too. I'm not a total stranger. So you just start creating this network, but it all starts with some sort of outbound. You have to go outbound, right? And if you don't want to go outbound, then you got to spend a bunch of money to have people come inbound. But when they come inbound, you have to call them back. You have to email them back. You have to respond somehow, which then it goes right back to the outbound. So no matter what you do, if you are operating any sort of business, you must become known. The cheapest way to become known is to do the 3 things. You hit your emails, hit your social, and hit your phone, but you have to do it in a way that has context to it, right? Where if you're human about this, it's not salesy. It's just doing what you do. Hey, Adam, I see you have 2 beautiful daughters. Do you have 2 minutes to chat about a new business venture? I'm going to be much more likely to reach out to that person, right? Because it's like, oh, human. It's like, hey, my name's Adam. I'm a local real estate agent. I live down the road from you. So be a normal person, right? And then the pressure's off because you're just simply doing what you need to do to get to know people. Like, how do you build relationships? Like, if you move to a new town, you have to figure out how to connect with people. No one's going to want to hang out with you, invite you to the party, or ask you to go to dinner with them, or babysit their kids, or whatever it is, if they don't know you exist. And no one wants to work with or be friends with some whack job robot. So just be normal. So you get your list, you act like a normal person, you ask human being questions, and then you do that for 2 hours a day, and then you'll make a bunch of money, and then you'll have a bunch of friends, and then you'll be rich. So now you've got a little bit of money. The next step is you have to become obsessed with your dollar per hour. So I've got my 3 lists. I'm hitting them for 2 hours a day. Let's say that we're actually ambitious and we're grinding and like we have goals and we're goal oriented, and then we take action because we know that feelings are subject to your actions. That means you're not going to change the way you feel about something until you start doing something. Working out is terrifying until you start working out. Then you're over with the workout and you're like, that wasn't that bad, I survived. You have anxiety before you do the thing, but once you actually do the thing, you realize the thing you did wasn't as bad as you thought it was before. But your attitude will never change until you take the action. So it's always action first. So you've taken action, right? Now we look at what is our dollar per hour activities. So in real estate, right, it starts at the top. Recruiting can be a $2,000 an activity job. Taking listings is about $1,000 an hour. Taking buyer listings is about $750 an hour. Prospecting's $500. Showing houses, about $200. And then we've got signs and appointments, like as far as like meeting with inspectors and that's about your $200 an hour. And then at the bottom, paperwork, admin, 15 to 30. So as you go, you start kicking up. So this is the last thing you let go. Second to last thing. So the first thing you let go would be the paperwork and administrative stuff. So you got to get really good at this before you let it go. Because if you let this go and you're not very good at it, how the hell are you going to train someone to be good at it? How do you know what good looks like? How do you know what good feels like? How do you know how long it should take? I can do listing documents in 10 minutes. Signs, lock boxes, meeting inspectors. That's the next thing that you let go, right? And then showings. We're yet to have anyone in this particular office be productive enough to earn the right to have a showing assistant. I skipped a lot of this stuff, right? I still haven't let this go. I still do this. But I went and started giving up these things because this has already gotten done. And then after that, you just turn most of this stuff into what's called luxury. It's funny, I had people argue with me about luxury versus leverage. Well, it's simple. Leverage is taking the paperwork off of my list of job duties. See, it's gone. So I can do more of this. But if I take the paperwork away and I'm over here walking, fishing, having fun, partying, that's luxury, right? So leverage is I'm going to take this $30 an hour thing and pay someone to do it so I can do my $500 an hour thing for an extra 2 hours a day, right? So let's say the 30 times 8, so I spend $250 a day to pay someone to do my paperwork so I can do this for another 2 hours a day and make an extra 1,000. So 1,000 minus 250, now I'm plus 750 on the day, assuming like my hourly rates wash. Does that make sense? But if I pay someone $240 a day to do my paperwork and I don't increase my activities in my business to drive more revenue, it's just turned into luxury or laziness. Because then the question becomes, if I'm not doing this, then what am I doing with that time that I saved, right? If I'm not doing my paperwork anymore and I'm not prospecting, I'm not going on more appointments, it's luxury. There's a level of accountability that comes with spending money on things to make sure that you are doing the higher dollar per hour activities, right? Like you should be obsessed with what you make an hour. And in sales, you can do that, right? You can work for 2-3 hours a day and make a ton of money.